Hey, truth seekers, welcome back. Zach here. Earlier today, July 6th, I put out this report on the shooting reported out of Baton Rouge, Louisiana. If you missed that post, it's reported that yesterday, July 5th, Baton Rouge, Louisiana police officers, two white males, shot and killed an unarmed 37-year-old black man, Alton Sterling. In the video I did earlier today, I showed that this was purposeful propaganda contrived by the numbers, as these race war agenda stories always are. If you missed that video, please check it out. Very important. Since doing that video, there's been another shooting by white police of an unarmed black man, this time in Minnesota. We're going to touch on that. And then we're also going to look at the second video released of the shooting of Mr. Sterling. So let's first look at this Minnesota story. Brand new story. The shooting is today, July 6th, the day after the Alton Sterling shooting. This is another coded propaganda story meant to work people up further. Definitely coming in a pair with the Alton Sterling shooting. You know, they already got people worked up from this. Now here's another one. Bang, bang. This is the way the media works. This is how they get people angry, acting out, dividing. So they say this time the victim is 32-year-old Philando Castile, and this name is just like the name Alton Sterling. If you saw my decode earlier, you saw these numbers. The name Philando Castile sums to 67 in gematria, just like blood sacrifice, just like today's date, written 6/7 for the 6th day, the 7th month, July 6th. Philando Castile in gematria, 67, blood sacrifice, 67, Freemasonry, 67. It is the Freemasons doing this by the numbers, controlling the media, controlling the police, scripting propaganda according to this old esoteric knowledge. Numerology, gematria, old world practices, this number coding. Alton Sterling, also the victim in the news today, July 6th, having this name gematria, 58 and 67. The name Castile alone has gematria of 33, like police like race war. Again, in the description, I'm also going to link the draft of my 8th chapter of my book that I'm finishing about the race war. If you take the time to read that, it's nearly 100 pages. It goes through every psychological operations race war story you've ever heard of from this mainstream media. You see how these same numbers are coded again and again all throughout history. The name Philando has gematria of 43, like Civil War, like Charleston. Last year, the major race war Psy-Ops in Charleston and Baltimore by the numbers. I have videos on all the shootings you've ever heard of. Go through my channel. So the shooting earlier, Alton Sterling was in Louisiana. This shooting's in Minnesota. Look at the connection, 3838, the number for death. Here we have stories of death, unarmed black men being killed by white police officers in states with fitting gematria. As for the neighborhood Falcon Heights, it has gematria of 64, just like civil rights, just like Trayvon Martin, just like many of the names of the victims in these shootings over the years. We'll get to Trayvon Martin. His imagery was in the Alton Sterling shooting earlier. So, the mainstream media, they've put out this second video of the Alton Sterling shooting. All of this stuff is divide and conquer. Donald Trump, these shootings, the mainstream media is here to torment people. I mean, think about this. The red-faced comb-over on TV nonstop, 24/7, 365 for more than a year now. This entire country is a mockery of us. So here's the second video. We're going to watch this together. Notice that they made the clip 58 seconds. Earlier today, I pointed out Freemasonry 58 with the S exception 67, Alton Sterling 58 with the S exception 67. As I routinely say, CNN, they code their stories with gematria. They even code their video lengths according to the characteristics of the story. This time they make a 58-second video for Alton Sterling. All right, we're going to watch this video. We're going to compare it with the first video released, and I'm going to show you that this video proves beyond a shadow of a doubt this is contrived propaganda, a hoax. Here we go. So CNN just started their clip with the new footage, which is clear. This is the footage they showed earlier today, grainy, choppy. Notice where this video is being shot from. Notice where this person is standing. With the newer video, we'll catch an anomaly between these two videos. But just notice where this person is shooting from right now with the grainy image. So something's off with the audio. We already heard the shots. Nothing's happened yet. The camera is going to come off here to the right, over where this other person would have been filming. I want you to notice how as the camera comes to the right, you see that there's nobody over here, meaning that they did multiple takes for this shooting. I want to remind you, it's the Masons and Zionists who run Hollywood, who make the movies. They're the same ones who control our news, who control government, who conspire against us with this divisive propaganda. This shooting was July 5th, 2016, a date with 48 numerology. In Gematria, Hollywood equals 48. So does propaganda, so does hoax. It's not a coincidence. These people operate by these numbers. Notice as the camera goes to the right, no one is standing over here. And just think about it. When this guy's supposedly dying, the blood's starting to come out, the camera's off, it's just focused over here. There's supposed to be somebody else filming over here. Today, the video, the first one filmed where the person was standing over here, the video just cuts off at this point. You don't see anymore. But now we have this new video where the camera goes off during the action and it's going to come back, and let's see what we see. So we can see that there's blood on the bumper, and they've blurred out his chest, but in other videos, which you can find on the web, you can see the blood coming out of his chest. It's oozing out. What this likely is a blood pack, just like they use in the movies. All of us have seen movies where people die on camera. This is how it's done. It's filmed, it's shot. In the movies, we know it's not real. In the news, we think it's legitimate, so of course it's real. But the thing you have to ask yourself is, every day in this country, there are police officers getting away with murder, truly, all sorts of atrocities that never get out. They never sniff the media. They never get the light of day. Meanwhile, this story, they got the video out within 24 hours. They got the family together for a press conference. They have all these news commentators with all this information. They have all these photos of this individual. These are the signs of obvious propaganda. People need to stop and go, well, wait a minute. How come they're trying to get justice for this guy when those of us who know who've had to deal with the police, there's no justice? This is all propaganda meant to work people up. And then an officer just comes in and picks his pocket like he doesn't even care. They love to do that in these videos too. Remember last year, Walter Scott supposedly shot dead in the back. Officer comes over and handcuffs him. You know? It's all part of the provoking act. Police officers are not the greatest people among us. Most police officers just want to carry a gun, have some authority, usually the biggest assholes amongst us. That's why they participate in these psychological operations. If you haven't seen my first video, I decode the officers' names. I show how they sync up with the name of the city and everything else. They are coded actor-agent names given in the story. Here, we're going to watch part of this video clip. I have to stop it before they show the blood. This is just the unedited, unmerged. This is the new video clear. I can't show you the blood though because I know YouTube will flag my channel and put me in bad standing for 6 months. I've been down this road before, but I'll show what I can show. I'll also link this clip if you want to watch the rest of it. Yeah, I am streaming this from YouTube, but trust me, if I show this video, they will flag my channel. It will be put in bad standing. Do you guys see where he's holding that gun when you hear the sound before it cuts away? It's up by his shoulder, his head area, and then when it comes back, his center of his chest is bleeding where the blood bag was. It's just so obvious how fake this is. If anyone is out there watching this and is deceived by this, you really need to start using your critical thinking skills. If this were real, the camera wouldn't pan off to the right like it's about to do. This is where they do their blood bag. So I can't show any more than that. It's just obvious this is not real, you know? They're in the business of duping us. Now let's compare that again with the earlier footage where the cameraman is shooting from where the camera pans off to. But when it pans off, there's nobody there. Here's the earlier footage. That's what else I want to show you about this clip, Truth Seeker. You see how that comes through real quick? It's like a zebra stripe. And I don't think that this is in here by accident. I think this is a subliminal in the shooting. Try to pause this on it. Oh, you saw it. I didn't pause it very well, but it's there, that zebra stripe, for just a second. Okay, I know you saw it for sure. Here's what I want to show you about that zebra stripe. There's something about black and white, the coding of those words like a zebra stripe. It ties in with the dishonest coding. Black and white, you know, like a newspaper. It has this 113 coding. And remember, the Freemasons, they code this all the time in their mainstream propaganda. Mainstream equals 113, dishonest equals 113, green screen equals 113, the word perjury, things that have to do with being dishonest. Bava Kama 113a in the Talmud says it's okay for a Jew to lie to somebody who isn't Jewish. It's the Zionist Jews who control the media. It's the Zionist Jews who have these morals of dividing the people purposefully, getting them to fight amongst themselves while they rule over and laugh at the confused people. 113, black and white, dishonest, mainstream, green screen, perjury. I'm pretty sure that's why they get that clip in there. None of this stuff is by accident. So anyway, we covered the shooting, what's wrong with it, the coding, the 58-second clip. I point out that Facebook has the 58 gematria, started by Mark Zuckerberg, Zionist Jew, Freemasonry. Anyhow, this guy's Facebook page, he only has 10 friends. He has almost no photos posted. You know, it looks like a fake Facebook profile just set up. But he has this up, Justice for Alton Sterling. Somebody posted this on his account right after the news broke of his death. You know, this guy's supposed to be popular in Louisiana. I've had 5, 6 people already comment to my first video I made, and they said they're friends with him. This guy's really popular in Baton Rouge. Well, he's really popular. You think he would have more than 10 Facebook friends. So these people posting in my channel saying they know him, I always give these people the benefit of the doubt. You know, maybe they're trying to tell the truth. But it doesn't seem like it. It seems like, you know, They're here just to legitimize the lies, I guess you could say. In the footage of the shooting, they had the name of the person up who captured the video, supposedly. That's this man right here. CNN interviewed him. Awkward interview. Supposedly, he's the owner of the Triple S Food Mart where the shooting took place. And there's something interesting about Triple S. There's also something very interesting about this man's name, as well as the address of this store. So here's the store, here's the shot, the shooting just outside the Triple S. Triple S Food Mart in Gematria, as it's called, sums to 74, just like Masonic, a number often quoted on the shootings. The Walter Scott shooting last year was on the 47-year anniversary of the assassination of Martin Luther King Jr. 74 days later was the Charleston church shooting, both incidents in Charleston. Everything was coded 74 in the Charleston shooting. Masonic 74, Jewish 74. It's the Freemasons who operate through divide and conquer, order through chaos, which is exactly what these stories are. With regards to the red coloring, I'm also wondering if that's a Jesuit tribute in this case. Dan Barrett, another channel who follows me, says that Baton Rouge is named after a native chief that was named Red Stick. Possible reason for the red coloring. But this Triple S Food Mart has the same gematria as Society of Jesus, which is the official name of the Jesuit order in the Catholic Church. I wonder if that's a coincidence. Roman Catholicism has the 74 gematria. Remember, it's the higher secret society orders, the Masons, the Zionists, the Jesuits, who conspire to divide and rule over us by the numbers. 191 is also the 43rd prime number. Earlier today, we talked about how the cops responsible for the shooting had 4 years and 3 years service. Civil War equals 43. Charleston equals 43, where the Civil War began. All of these stories, again, are about divide and conquer, having parallels, obviously, to a civil war. They had a big press conference. They had the family out there. It's just amazing how orchestrated all this is. You know, this family supposedly you think they'd be dealing with the death of this man, this family member from just the day before, but somehow they're all ready to go before the media and speak, the talking points they're read, reading off the cue card, no tears, no real tears. What I noticed, though, in this press conference was this man in red, like the victim was wearing red, with a Trayvon Martin hoodie t-shirt. And then what gets more interesting is this kid right here is supposedly the 15-year-old son of who was just shot, a 37-year-old man. He starts doing this sobbing, but with no tears, and hugs the man in the Trayvon shirt. And when that happens, you can see that there's somebody with a Miami Heat basketball hat back here. And do you recall that when Trayvon Martin was shot, LeBron James, who was on the Miami Heat at the time, became front and center leading this hoodie movement in remembrance of Trayvon? There is no Trayvon Martin. Trayvon Martin is a definitive hoax. And right now in the propaganda, the NBA is becoming involved with this shooting as well. Trayvon Martin, LeBron James. Now they got Big Baby Davis saying he knew the man gunned down in Louisiana. And remember, these basketball players have no credibility. These are some of the biggest losers among us. These are people that accept all this money and play in rigged basketball games, selling out all their fans. These people are as dishonest as anyone can possibly be. And there's a history of professional athletes participating in these Psy-Ops. Look at the New England Patriots and the Boston Marathon bombing hoax. I forget who it was, Teddy Bruschi. One of those guys was out there supposedly rescuing victims. It's all bullshit. These people are sellouts, they're liars, they're deceivers, and that's why they participate in this propaganda. This is all part of a sick joke. All of these people here should be ashamed, participating in this propaganda and probably doing it for money. Show you what's up with Miami Heat. Has the same gematria as 43 like Civil War, the small way, the big way, 79 like murder. This is a murder story. Trayvon Martin, 64, just like civil rights. This shooting here comes just days after the anniversary of the Civil Rights Act, July 2nd, 1964. The Civil Rights Act was in 64. Civil rights equals 64. The Masons and Zionists have been running this nation by the numbers since the beginning, which is what my book proves. Something else I always talk about, these shootings in the states, they're always synced up with the governor. Louisiana has a new governor, John Bel Edwards. Last year, Louisiana had a shooting hoax in July, the Lafayette, Louisiana theater shooting. That hoax was by the numbers, perfectly synced up with Bobby Jindal, the governor's birthday. Perfect alignment. You can read my blog posts. Anyhow, now we have Governor John Bel Edwards, the replacement for Bobby Jindal, and this shooting seems very much synced up with his birthday. Check this out. From today until what will be his 50th birthday, he'll be turning 50 September 16th, is 73 days later, or 2 months and 11 days. And 73 and 10 weeks, 3 days reminds me very much of the Pulse shooting. Pulse equals 73, Sacrifice equals 73. They first reported 103 victims. Anyhow, that was one recent shooting. In this case, what stands out the most is the 2 months and 11 days. Again, the name Alton in Jewish gematria equals 211. Alton was 37 years old, the reflection of 73. Mason equals 211, as in Freemasonry, Masonic, Mason, short. The number 211 is the 47th prime number. His first name is John. Louisiana also has gematria of 47. Louisiana is just like Minnesota, 38 and 47. Look at the address of this Triple S Food Mart, 2112, 211, with this 211 coded on the shooting, you know? Also, if you count the end date, the total span of days from the date of the shooting to the governor's birthday, it's 74 days like Masonic, or 10 weeks and 4 days like Sterling, 104, like 10-4 message received. The name of the governor also syncs up with Baton Rouge, Louisiana through the number 84. None of this stuff is coincidence. All of this stuff is scripted. This governor, before he was governor, he was in the military, the mainstream media, this nation. It is a giant military machine. The media is just here to fuel the propaganda to make us go along with this agenda. Think about what this agenda does. It makes it so police need more money for body cams, for training, for whatever. More money for police, less money for other things, such as education. That's what we see going on in the post-9/11 agenda. More and more money for military, less money for everything else. And this is the direction. These news stories, they lead us that way. What else is interesting is the name John Bel Edwards sums to 59, a number typically coded on black men. Interesting that it's coded on this governor's name. The name of the man who supposedly recorded the video, where'd he go? Abdul Muflahi. His name in gematria also sums to 59. The word kill in Jewish gematria is 59. This number stamped all over black Americans typically. Negro, slave, blues all equal 59. Motown Records came out in 59. If you've never seen my work on AIDS, it was supposedly discovered in 59 in the Belgian Congo. Belgian Congo equals 59. It's all part of a really sick, ongoing joke. They were coding this number on Africa during the Ebola breakout stories. Here it is on the supposed witness of the killing, the owner of the Triple S. The other thing I point out about Triple S is if you add 3 S's together, it sums to 57. Remember, the shooting was on July 5th, 5/7, Scottish Rite equals 57. If you write out 37, the age of the victim, it sums to 57. I don't think that's an accident either. Triple S. And again, in the description, I will link this draft chapter of the race war. I cover every single shooting story, O.J. Simpson trial, everything that's been used against us over the years to divide us by the numbers. All these racially driven Psy-Ops that are truly coded in the same numbers again and again. Trayvon Martin, a major tribute to the Rodney King beating. He was buried on the same day Rodney King was beat. The name Trayvon Martin in Gematria connects to the Los Angeles riots, which occurred after Rodney King's killers were acquitted. You know, that's what they do with these stories. They provoke you oftentimes multiple times. First, they provoke you with the story. Then they provoke you when the officers get acquitted. And that'll probably happen in, the next year with this story. This story will come back up 9 months from now, and the officers are getting off. All right, Truth Seeker, I think we covered it all. I'll link the video from earlier today as well as the chapter to the race war. Please read that. Please give me your feedback. Pretty soon, the finished book will be out. Just recognize as you read the chapter, I haven't edited it, so it's not totally clean. But the content's there, the information is there, the knowledge is there. All right, Truth Seeker, until next time.